right, well, good afternoon, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. We're a little bit early, but I think we have everybody here that's going to be here. Just a couple of things. First and foremost, my name is Mark Marshall. I'm the Sheriff of Isle of Wight County. I've got, just before I've got a prepared statement, and then I will take a few questions from you all. I will tell you just, this is an ongoing investigation, and we have a lot of things to look folks. We are definitely busy out here, so I want to get these guys and gals back out there, continuing the good work that they've been doing. So I'll read my prepared statement first and then take questions. First and foremost, we have new developments in the case of the double homicide in Isle of Wight County. The following is a sequence of events as we know them. On Friday, this past Friday, at approximately 11:30 a.m., we received a 911 call requesting that we respond to 31334 Walters Highway in the Carrsville community to conduct a welfare check on the residents of the property of Joseph and Sandra Joyner. We arrived a few minutes later, however, found the residence was locked. After a number of attempts to have a relative or a friend respond with a key, we finally made contact with a relative who was able to unlock the residence. At approximately 2:30 p.m. Friday, we made entry into the residence and discovered a body that was later identified as Sandra Joyner, age 58. It was evident that she was a victim of massive blunt trauma. A number of assets were deployed, to include a helicopter, tracking dogs, and several search teams. That evening, they discovered the body of a male later identified as Joseph Joyner, age 62. The medical examiner's office conducted autopsies on both of them Saturday morning. Their findings revealed that Sandra Joyner had died as a result of severe blunt trauma. Joseph, or Joe as he was commonly known, died as a result of a gunshot wound to his head. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the investigative team. They've been working around the clock, and we were able to recover a number of items, including the firearm we believe was used in the crime. That weapon was recovered in the Blackwater River at the bridge on West Blackwater Road. These horrible crimes are tragedy for all of us. Sandy and Joe were well respected and loved by the Carrsville community. Their contributions were many. Their murders shock the conscience. I want to announce that today we have arrested and charged Joseph Charles Joyner Jr., known as Jay, with the first-degree murders of Sandra and Joseph Joyner. He resided in Courtland, Virginia. His date of birth is 3/1875. His age is 37. Our office is determined to make sure that justice is served in these heinous crimes. A case of this magnitude is overwhelming. Fortunately, we requested and received significant assistance from the following agencies. I want to really thank the Virginia State Police, who provided a search helicopter, a CSI forensic team, and a dive team. I want to thank the Southampton County Sheriff's Office, including Sheriff Jack Stutz, who also personally came to the scene, who provided a search team along with Bloodhound. Thank the Franklin Police Department, who also provided security on the perimeter during our search. Thank the members of the Windsor Volunteer Rescue Squad and the Windsor Fire Department. Let me also say I want to give special commendation to the Carrsville Volunteer Fire Department and Chief Devin Butler. Let me tell you, these guys were there in the most difficult of environments. They stayed with the investigation the entire weekend. We could not have made the progress we did without their extraordinary can-do attitude. Lastly, I want to commend and thank the public and the many witnesses who stepped forward to give us critical information that has aided this investigation. This investigation is continuing and will be ongoing for many weeks to come. In the meantime, we are now investigating an unrelated suspicious death that occurred in the Rushmere area yesterday, involving a 29-year-old male who was dropped off at the fire station late yesterday afternoon. At that time, he was unresponsive and not breathing. He was pronounced dead earlier today, and we are awaiting the results of the autopsy. We have no reason to believe that this case is related in any way to the double homicide in Carrsville. At the conclusion of the conference, we certainly we'll have photographs of Mr. Joyner, and we'll make those available to any that request it. So with that, I'll open it up.
Sheriff, what led you to Jay Joyner as the man who did this, allegedly?
There were a number of different, we were pursuing a number of different leads. Early on in the investigation, because of witness statements, because of evidence that was found at the scene, he became a suspect.
What led you to the Blackwater River?
This is where, really, in the end of the day, you all really help us. And you help us because of the reports that were produced on Friday, Saturday, and we started receiving information. And we had a couple of witnesses that identified an individual that looked similar to Mr. Joyner, our suspect. Those witnesses indicated that his vehicle was stopped, the trunk was open, and he was standing on the bridge.
What was his motive, his alleged motive?
At this point, that's part of the ongoing investigation, and it's, at this time, to be speculative.
Right. What about, when do you think the cause, or what time do you think the murders occurred, and who do you think he killed first?
We have reason, we believe that these occurred sometime on Thursday.
Sometime Thursday night?
Sometime Thursday.
Okay.
This time, we can't tell you what's up.
Right. What about the sequence?
We're still working.
Okay. And do you know why Joe Joyner was out in the woods when he was found? Do you believe he was killed there, or his body was taken there, or?
We believe the event happened out in the woods. He was not taken.
Okay, no, I'm sorry, what was that again?
That was where he was killed in the woods.
Okay. Okay. But as to who was killed first,
We're still working.
still working on that? Okay.
I'm sorry, Sheriff, it was my understanding that she was killed first. Is that maybe not true?
Right now, Annie, we can't tell you which person was killed. But we do believe that they were killed, that both were killed Thursday.
Sheriff, does Mr. Joyner Jr. have any previous instances of violence?
We have one incident of assault and battery, 2001, and a DUI, as well as a number of traffic offenses. Certainly no, other than that, nothing.
Nothing major.
That assault and battery against a family member?
The record doesn't say.
What kind of gun did you also have?
It is a, it is pending for a number of forensic examinations of folks. It was recovered from the water and immediately encased in a tube filled with water, so we weren't able to closely examine it for the purpose, because of food. That weapon will undergo a number of forensic examinations.
Has the suspect admitted to anything at this point? No? Okay, okay.
Where is he being held here?
Right as we speak, he is being processed and will be being transported shortly to Western Tidewater Regional Jail.
What about, did any of the witnesses indicate that there were relationship problems between Jay and Joe and Sandra?
We can't get into
I'm
that.
not gonna, we can't get into
And I think, was he Sandra's son, or was he Joe's
that.
son and
He
her
was,
stepson?
No, he was Joe's son, Sandra was his stepson. It's a real tragedy for the school.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Can you say anything about the people who called you to kind of connect the dots? Something was going on.
After the reports that happened in the media on Friday night and Saturday morning, well, we received a number of calls of potential suspects. Some of it didn't pan out, but some did. In this particular case, we had a couple of tips on this one that actually did pan.
When was the gun retrieved? Did you say Friday or Saturday?
It was Saturday. It takes a little while to get in. It takes a little while to get the dive teams together. They worked all day yesterday. They went into the water about 8 o'clock yesterday morning, and they searched a number of locations, but that's where the weapon was retrieved yesterday morning in the Blackwood.
How far?
So without testing the gun itself, you feel confident that this is the gun?
We feel confident this is the murder weapon.
Who did the gun belong to?
We are still working on it.
Okay.
We believe it belonged to Mr.
Joe Joyner?
Yes,
Okay.
Senior, junior.
senior.
Okay. What about, how far between where the Joyners lived and where the gun was found? What's the distance there?
Yeah, I would, several miles. Yeah,
Seven.
yeah, 7 miles, 7, 8 miles.
Was
You
there,
can Google it
oh,
and certainly find it.
And I'm assuming this was on the way to his home, that the bridge is between his home and
That,
the,
that was the route that he traveled to and from his home in Courtland to the residence in Carrsville.
Hmm.
Yes.
How far in the woods was Mr. Joyner's body found? Was it covered or anything, or?
Yes. He was, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be candid with you. It really speaks to the effort, this team effort by the state police with the helicopter, the tracking dogs. He was deep into the woods. I mean, it was very difficult terrain to get to. I went back to the crime scene on Saturday in a four-wheel drive Humvee. I couldn't believe we actually could get back there. It is way back in the woods. He was killed on one of the trails back there, and his body was dragged into the woods a distance away. It was covered up.
is there any reason to believe that he was back there hunting with his son at the time?
We don't know.
Have you heard that?
That is a possibility that we're looking into. We don't.
hmm.
Do you know what weapon was used to kill Mrs. Joyner?
No, we don't. We do know that it was massive blunt force trauma, so that can be, look, folks, that could be anything. Hammered to the butt of a gun, all kinds of things in between.
Was Joe Joyner also beaten, or was it just a gunshot
He was killed by, appears to be a single gunshot wound to the head,
to the
at
head?
close range.
Okay, because we were initially told it was blunt force trauma.
There's a gunshot wound. A lot of these things are, this is a work in progress.
Right, right.
But this was, the medical examiner indicates, and additional examinations have revealed that it was a single close range gunshot wound. Okay, anything else? Yeah.
The pictures of the Joyners, are they pictures of them together, or Mr. and Mrs. Joyner together? Can we get pictures of them?
I don't know.
You probably look on Facebook, we don't
Yeah.
have a good picture of the two of them anytime recently.
We don't have it, but, they do apparently, they both have Facebook pages, so. And Joe, of course, ran for, the board of supervisors, so I think there's, board of supervisors, last year, unsuccessfully. But, I think there probably are some pictures in some of the public files. And we're gonna provide you with a picture of Jay, shortly. Anything else?
When is Jay's first court appearance?
He's going, he hasn't even gone, is he going?
He'll go to arraignment tomorrow. Wednesday. We don't have any control over when he does, we'll wait till.
Okay, anything else? All right, Kristen, we'll make sure that we get a picture to you all. If, we will be bringing them out at the sheriff's office, front of the sheriff's office, in a few minutes. Okay, thank you all for being here, appreciate it.